We're back in the book club, and this time I've got an incredible collection of short stories to tell you about. This is Dead Relatives by Lucie McKnight Hardy. Let's go. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Dave Musson, at Dave Musson on Instagram, and normally this is where I talk to you about Stephen King, but in this spin-off series, this is where I recommend good books to you. Yep, this is the book club where I come and tell you about books that I've read that I think you will as well. Generally spooky and horror stuff. And today's collection of short stories definitely fits into that genre very neatly. It's Dead Relatives by Lucie McKnight Hardy, a book that came out in 2021 and that I first read in 2024. And if you've been watching the book club the whole time, you'll know that it featured in my top 10 reads of 2024. And I said I would bring it here and talk about it properly. Well, here we are. So that's what we're going to do in this episode of the book club. Now, if you're new to the book club, as I say, this is where I bring books that I've enjoyed and share them in the hope that you'll go and read them yourselves and maybe review them on Amazon and Goodreads and rave about them on your own social media channels. So in each episode, I give you a spoiler-free review of the book, and I'll try and align it to a Stephen King book, and I'll give you a synopsis and a bit about the author, all of that kind of stuff. Now, if you're interested in what I do on this channel, you can become a member, you can become a constant viewer, get access to exclusive content and some fun emojis and some other stuff. And I've also got my own collection of short stories out, Once More Around the Sun, won some awards in 2024, which was very nice. And I have a range of Stephen King themed band shirts. The links for all of those are in the description. Do check them out if it sounds interesting. But otherwise, let's crack on with this. This is, here on the book club, Dead Relatives by Lucie McKnight Hardy. So, a synopsis of this collection then. Iris has never left the big house in the country she shares with Mammy and the servants. When the ladies arrive, she finds that she must appease her dead relatives. Other stories in this collection explore themes of motherhood and the fragile body, family dynamics and small-town tensions, unusual traditions and metamorphosis. Dead Relatives is the highly anticipated, no-holds-barred short story collection from Lucie McKnight Hardy, and readers can expect more of the suspense and trepidation evident in her debut novel, Water Shall Refuse Them, which I've not read yet, but definitely want to. Not for the faint-hearted, Dead Relatives invites you behind closed doors and will leave you wondering if it's better that they're kept shut and firmly locked. And a bit about the author. So this biography is written in the first person, so you'll have to imagine Lucie reading this, but she says, I'm a writer of novels and short stories. I grew up in West Wales and am a Welsh speaker. I've also lived in Liverpool, Cardiff, Zurich and Bradford, and have now settled in the far eastern reaches of Herefordshire at the foot of the Malvern Hills, which is not too far from me actually, where I live with my husband, 3 children and other assorted creatures. I've worked in the advertising, public relations and marketing industries and have an MA in creative writing from Manchester Metropolitan University. And I'm represented by Donald Winchester, Watson Mickle. Okay. There you go, there's your background, including her agent. Let's get into my spoiler-free review of Dead Relatives. So every so often you come across a book that just clicks with you, and for you while you're reading it, it's just a total knockout. Not a page, not a word, nothing wasted. Just everything firing on all cylinders. And Dead Relatives did that for me. Absolutely. So this collection of short stories is really quite stunning. It's beautifully written. The prose just really hooks you in, and it's just laced with this sense of dread throughout, and then punctuated with these moments that actually made me gasp when I was reading them. There are loads of powerful moments across these stories, but what resonated most with me was how the author writes about womanhood, and in particular about motherhood, and what it gives you, but also what it takes away from you. Now, with this being a collection of short stories, I'd sort of planned in my head, I'll pick out a handful of the stories here that particularly resonated with me and make those my kind of go and check these ones out. But then I realized I like every story in this collection. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about each one. I'm going to use my notes because otherwise I'm just going to be looking at the screen all the time. So I may as well just hold it here. So let's go through my notes for the stories then. So Dead Relatives, this one, looming dread before you realize what in the hell is going on here. Whoa, what is going on here? Jutland, this one has stuck with me for a long time. The ending of it, God, I mean, it has great dread and a great lead character. I really loved being inside her head, but then that ending, like an absolute sucker punch right across your face. Badger Face. I found that one to be captivating and sad, which are things I generally enjoy reading. The Pickling Jar, my notes here just say, wait, what? I mean, you're intrigued, right? You should go and read it. Cavities, I thought was very clever and very nasty. Resting Bitch Face, I thought was really great, really nasty again, and very fun with some very real observations about motherhood, like I was talking about earlier. The Puckering. So this one was a sad tale of wanting to escape your mundane life and of the things that you never say out loud. Which again, very clever writing. Parroting. I thought this one was highly evocative, had lush descriptions, and my note here is just, why am I so terrified of the old woman? You'll have to read it to find out. Cortona. My note for this just says, oof. And it is one hell of a piece of writing about grief. Just wow. I seem to click with grief writing, but there we go. Chucks Don't Have Teeth. This one, beautiful writing again. This is like talking about the onset of womanhood paired against just shriveling up and dying. Really interesting juxtaposition and very brilliantly done. The Devil of Timon Fire. This is a powerful depiction of anxiety, and it has a truly horrific moment in there, mentioning David Cameron, former Prime Minister. That's a joke, by the way. Wretched. This one was bleak, disturbing, dystopian future, almost Bachman-esque in many ways. And then the last one, The Birds of Nagasaki, a real stinger to wrap this collection up. Like the smoke and mirrors being destroyed in that one, really, really enjoyed. But honestly, all of the stories are great, and you should just go and buy the book or get it from your library and read them. So in terms of a King book to sort of set this against, obviously short stories. For me, it felt like sort of 2010s era King short stories. So like Bazaar of Bad Dreams, Full Dark No Stars, that kind of era. There's a nastiness to it. There's also a literariness to the writing. Like, it's a writer at the top of their game, doing some beautiful stuff, really introspective stuff, but also scaring the crap out of you too. Great mix. So to sum up, this collection, comfortably one of the best things I've read in a long time, and I definitely want to read more from this author. I haven't had a chance to do so yet, but it's something that I would definitely be following up on, and certainly one I wanted to bring to the book club. I know I kind of teased it, dropping it in my top 10 reads in last year, but there you go. I hope this episode has made you curious enough to go and check out Dead Relatives. It's out now on Dead Ink, which is a great publisher to go and check out their bibliography as well. They have some amazing, incredible, weird, spooky, quirky, funny stuff. And yeah, this one deserves to be huge. So go read it if you haven't already. There we go, another episode of the Book Club done. Do let me know what you think of Dead Relatives, this collection by Lucie McKnight Hardy. Have you read it? If you have, let me know. And if you haven't, are you intrigued enough to read it? I think you should be. It's one that I certainly slept on for a couple of years, and I don't see getting talked about anywhere near enough. And like I said, spectacular. You should definitely read it. And yeah, there's not a story wasted in this. It's so good. And if you do go and read it and you enjoy it, review it on Amazon and Goodreads and rave about it on your own social media. Buy it for a friend. Force them to read it. Pin them down. Hold their eyes open like the scene in A Clockwork Orange, occasionally dropping water on them, and just read it. Record yourself reading it to them and send it to your friends as a voice message. You get the idea. Like, this book deserves to be in your life, and I think you should check it out. So there you go, Dead Relatives by Lucie McKnight Hardy. Other things you can do, you can check out my collection of short stories. It's nowhere near as good as this, but it's all right. You can check out my range of Stephen King themed band shirts, and you can become a member of this channel. You can become a constant viewer, get early access to regular videos, exclusive videos as well, some fun emojis, and just that nice warm feeling that you're supporting a lonely little creator here in the middle of England to do his thing, and maybe one day buy a computer that isn't 12 years old so it doesn't take 4 hours to export a video. There you go, behind the curtain. What more do you want? I'm rambling now. See you again next week for for another pick at the book club.